Hi, my name is Peter Wain and I'm Group Managing Director of Meller Speman. So we've all heard of the phrase biodiversity net gain, more commonly known as BNG. But what is BNG? This video will provide you with a better understanding of what BNG is, why it's the current buzzword amongst developers and what are the implications, what are the opportunities for landowners and farmers, what Meller Speman can do to help you. Meller Speman is a long-established firm of chartered surveyors based in northwest England. In addition to having an enviable track record of being a pioneering leader in establishing and managing biodiversity offsetting sites, we also offer land and estate management services, planning and development advice, farm and ecological management services and valuations via our team of RICS registered valuers. Connect with us online to find out more on how we can help you. So, back to BNG. What is biodiversity net gain, or what is better known as BNG? BNG is a countrywide strategy to legally ensure the state of biodiversity in a location is improved following the completion of development. The Environment Act 2021 compels local planning authorities to not only make sure there is no loss of biodiversity due to development, but also improve the biodiversity by at least 10%. Some local planning authorities may even require an improvement that is greater than 10%. This now mandatory requirement will take effect from January 2024, so now is a good time to act. The value of the biodiversity is assessed in terms of units, often referred to as BNG units. The BNG units are calculated using a government-approved biodiversity metric, a sort of BNG calculator. The process of calculating BNG generally considers a number of factors, such as the type of habitat, both on and off the development land, the size of the habitat parcels, the condition of the habitat parcels and the location. The calculation, carried out by qualified ecologists, determines the number of BNG units, what the loss is on the development land and what enhancement will be required to meet the new legal obligation. So why is BNG currently such a buzzword amongst developers and what are the implications? Well, for developers, they now need to consider the biodiversity on all development sites and take account of the need to enhance any losses by at least 10%. This may be seen by some developers as another hurdle to jump as part of the planning and development process, but some may see it as an investment in future generations. A number of local planning authorities have been obligating developers to determine the loss of biodiversity for some years and either make provision for any losses by creating new habitats on site or to find another area to compensate for the loss. The countrywide strategy to legally ensure the state of biodiversity is improved following the completion of a development will now be mandatory across the country from January. Now is the time to act. As part of the planning process, a developer will need to instruct an ecologist to calculate what biodiversity is on site to determine what losses there could be and what enhancement would be needed to meet the local planning authority's legal requirements. In some cases, biodiversity could be maintained and enhanced on site, but in other cases, the developer may decide to offset the loss of biodiversity and the required enhancement to another area of land. This is known as offsetting. Offsetting could be to another area of land or BNG site within the local planning authority area. If no suitable site is available within the LPA area, then a developer could offset outside the area, but this would be subject to penalties of up to 100%. What are the opportunities for landowners and farmers? Offsetting of BNG to other areas of land creates an opportunity for farmers and landowners, because if the biodiversity cannot be maintained or enhanced on a development site, then a developer may look to offset to another area of land. This area of land could be anywhere, but not exclusively within the local planning authority area. The opportunity is for a landowner or farmer to create a BNG offsetting site by establishing new biodiverse habitats. A landowner or farmer, using the services of a professional ecologist, could propose a new habitat creation scheme and calculate the number of BNG units that a new habitat would establish using the biodiversity metric. This is where the value is created. The BNG units could then be sold to a developer to enable them to offset their BNG losses and required enhancement. You may be thinking, what value would the sale of units create? This can vary, but typically for lowland, improved grassland or arable land, which will depend on the habitat you're creating, at today's value you could expect to receive 100,000 per acre. You would retain ownership of your land, but you would be required to create and maintain the habitat for a period of 30 years and undertake ecological monitoring at intervals throughout the term. The creation of the habitat may not be as daunting as you may think, and the land could potentially be used for, say, hay crops and low intensive grazing during the 30-year period. The habitats can also be created as you sell the BNG units, so it may not be necessary to establish the whole habitat at the start, potentially running the risk of committing to expenditure without the income of selling all the BNG units. How can Meller Speman help you? Meller Speman is a long-established firm of chartered surveyors based in North West England. We have an enviable track record of being pioneering leaders in establishing and managing biodiversity offsetting sites. We can advise on BNG opportunities and discuss with you the potential of establishing a BNG offsetting site on your land. We can advise you on next steps and the appointment of a preferred qualified ecologist. We can market your site to developers and other bodies seeking to offset BNG and assist with the sale of units and guide you through the legal process. We can assist you with the creation and future management of habitats using our in-house farm and ecological management consultants. We are experienced in the sale of BNG units and have a proven track record of delivering a fast and efficient service to both landowners, farmers and developers. If you are a developer, contact us to discuss your BNG requirements. Go to mellerspeman.com to find out more.